If you're using Apple products in recent years, I mean, you know these. These are some dongles, and you know the dongle experience with stuff dongling everywhere, and hanging from every port. And this even extends to the realm of MacBooks and MacBooks Pros. And there's nothing more annoying if you have to carry all those dongles with you. And considering the price, for instance, of a MacBook Pro, these are intended for professionals. There's nothing more unprofessional than having a bunch of dongles. And if you don't have them with you, I mean, you're not able to use the SD cards from your client, or you cannot connect to any projector or any TV to make a presentation. Finally, they listened. After all these years of minimizing the aesthetics and sacrificing ports and connectivity, the new 2021 MacBook Pro goes into the right direction, I think. They reduce the amount of needed dongles, and that's great. Finally, there are more USB-C ports, there's an HDMI port and an SD card reader port. That's pretty awesome. And they innovate the market with function keys and improved headphone jack. Okay, I don't want to make them ridiculous, but now it much more resembles a mobile workstation that is really usable. And the good MagSafe connector is back. Just snap it in magnetically and it is charging. And now it's even with fast charge, and that is really great. But at the end, you really have to ask yourself, why did they introduce a new old charging connector if they could have just used USB-C? I mean, USB-C is just more universal as a connector, and they even give you one cable with the new iPhone, I mean the USB-C to Lightning cable. And to make that short, Apple is good in selling stuff and tying you in their loyalty loop and their ecosystem. If you're interested what the loyalty loop is and how this overall process works, please watch my recent video about the reason why the Lightning port is still around the iPhone. And to make it easy, there are several reasons. The first one is quite simple, it's security. You would have to stick to USB power delivery if you want to push 100 or 140 watt over the tiny USB-C connector. In the beginning, I mean, it was just meant for data transfer and not that much for power transfer. So the considerably larger pins on the Lightning connector are just a bit more capable. And in my opinion, they are also less prone to dust, and this makes it overall less problematic in use. And there's potentially another point here. I mean, imagine some aftermarket cable that is just not really complying to the specs, and quite a lot of users will blame Apple in case the MacBook or even the charger is damaged while charging. And that would generate some bad word of mouth. And always remember, bad word of mouth is about 3 times as strong as positive one. So it's just not worth the risk. And if you trip over the MagSafe, I mean, it will just unplug. And that's also an important safety feature, as USB-C is meant to be quite sticky to the port and should not unplug easily. The second, and in my opinion, more important reason is here psychology. The connector has only one purpose. Yeah, you heard right. The connector has only one purpose. Don't you get annoyed when all your ports are blocked and you have to free one just to charge? I mean, no problem here with MagSafe. It's only here to charge and for nothing else. No need to unplug anything, and there's always the fallback. I mean, in case the cable is just not available and the charger is not in reach, you can fall back onto some other USB-C means, and there's no risk for Apple of any bad feelings here. And at the end, it's also a distinguishing trademark feature from the past, and users were craving for it, and there's some real fandom around here. And this generates more stickiness to the brand and to the loyalty loop, and this will create more advocates for the loop. And that's perfectly. I mean, this is perfect for Apple. And I think I'm not the only one who found also some add-on pricing trick when buying the MacBook Pro. If you try to buy the MacBook Pro and to get the fast charging capability, and you want to buy the smallest MacBook Pro, you will have to pay extra or just buy a larger MacBook Pro. I mean, it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Why does Apple do that? I mean, I get that. You don't see the absolute amount of money. You just see relative amounts of money, and so it's quite easy to spend more. And they want to trick you into buying the larger MacBook Pro. I mean, this strategy is also explained in my other videos, so if you want to have more details, I mean, just watch that. And But at the end, you have to be honest. I mean, at least they give you a MagSafe cable with it. Otherwise, this cable would be quite expensive. I mean, well, next year, maybe with inflation, wow, this will be quite expensive. So we are at the end. So what did we learn today? Apple listened to their customers and brought back some connectors and even the MagSafe connector. But it's here for a specific reason, to tie you into their ecosystem via the loyalty loop. And now you should watch my other video where the loyalty loop is explained in more detail. I mean, you should join my ecosystem. So if you like the content, I mean, you can do what you should do. And see you next time, fellow photons. Cheers.